Yo, what up everyone? Welcome back to my YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch channels. Make sure you guys subscribe and follow. All the channel links are in the about section on whichever channel you guys are viewing this on. Again, go to the about section for all the channels. Go look for, basically it's gonna say merch. It's a link to my online Stream Elements store page where you could buy from my Oshie collection, my logo collection, or if you guys want custom designs on either I do a variety of merchandise, custom merchandise. So tank tops, shirts, hoodies, sweaters without hoodies, hats or caps, and mugs, plates, etc. Whatever design you guys want on it, I can make it happen. If you guys have seen all my other live streams when I'm playing video games or PC games, I usually have the corresponding game related logo. Like, it's my logo, but it's like, for example, if I'm playing a space related game, I have like an astronaut. If I'm playing Halo, everyone knows what Halo is, right? Like the Master Chief Collection. So, well, actually, anything in the Halo franchise, I have a specific logo for it, and then it's just Telco 760 below it, and it usually says like Halo, Telco 760, Halo Gaming, or some, I forgot. I have the shirt right there, but I'm too lazy to bring it out. But yeah, just if you guys catch me live playing video games, I usually have those custom graphics on it. I can make more. Obviously busy, so I'll make more custom logos and stuff that you and post them on my Instagram. So if you guys want to check those designs out, go to my Instagram. I posted pretty much all the logo designs on there that I have created so far. And OBS is disconnecting. Why is it messing up? Okay, it looks like everything's good. It's green right now, but it turned red for like a millisecond or a second. It's gonna be doing that throughout the stream. So again, if you guys want to watch the whole thing uninterrupted, I apologize. Technical difficulties, stuff will happen. This video comes, like, if you guys don't catch me live, it'll be in parts. Everything will be organized on my YouTube after I finish streaming. You guys can find my playlist on my YouTube channel. I'll actually show you guys right now. And sorry for the inception. And let us go to my YouTube channel to show you guys. So all these videos that I'm doing about my college life of computer science engineering major. So all my, let me pause this shit. All my college vlogging videos or whatever will be right here in this. So it'll be in order of, like, the oldest video is up top, and then the lower you go, it's the most recent. And I will basically, the numeration system would be, okay, this is the first day of college, first day, and it skips to day 3 because for day 2 I was in class and I wasn't able to stream any at all, so I wasn't able to. So you'll be seeing that. I'll basically number them day 1, day 2. It could land, I might not be able to do like every single week, so it might skip further. I'm just gonna do as many as I can just to give you guys a feel for what kind of stuff I'd be doing while I'm at college. Anyways, this right here is my classes. According to the title, we're going to be doing English ENGWR 300 College Composition. And no in-course materials is needed for this one. This one is 3 units. Again, it's Tuesday and Thursday, and it's on campus, so that is why I won't be streaming. The only thing I could stream from them is like my homework or any classes. If I don't, if I see it being like streaming getting in the way of me actually paying attention to the work or doing or completing the work, I may stream less. So if you guys see me less, that's why. Let's see. This is my stream elements. Looks like I'm up and running on all platforms. All right, sweet. Let's close that. Go to dashboard. So English WR 300 right here. Oh yeah. Let me actually. I will be on my Discord. My Discord channel link is on the About section on the channel you guys are viewing this on. If you guys want to chat, conversate, you guys can text chat in general. Usually it's for anything in general. It could be anything. If you guys want a specific text channel, I can make one. But other than that, I will be in the lobby. No mic is like, if you, it's kind of in general, but if you're like in game or whatever, this is where like the in-game people who don't want to voice chat, they could put their stuff there, and it's closer to the lobby, so people could see who's in the lobby and quickly go here and then text chat. That's why they're close together. And general chat is just for like if you're not gaming and you just want to mention something, you guys mention something there. You could also DM me direct message on the top left. If you guys don't have a Discord, think about making one, making an account. It's easier than making a Facebook account. And yeah, it's very useful. All right, so see English WR 300. Okay, home. How to access library research databases for career assignment. All right, let's see which one's the oldest. How to create Google site. Let's actually go to modules. That's usually where the assignments are. August 25th. Quiz, module 1, homepage quiz. So I think this is the assignment that's due. Reading the homepage. Okay, so I gotta read the homepage. It's on the homepage, but this is just showing the necessary stuff to read. Alright, so let's read this. I wish I could put on music without being copyrighted, or else I'll put on some Pandora while I do this. Alright, total read time 44 minutes. Ooh, never mind. Video time 47 minutes minus the Dweck video. Note, the Carol Dweck video is 47 minutes and can be skimmed. Note, there is a quiz on this material, especially the videos. Homepage layout. The Canvas module homepage is divided into several sections. First section, overview of the course and also some info on how you will be graded on, on the work. Second section is more or less, I don't even know what that word is, pedagogy or my theory of learning. Let me actually Google, or what is that? Pedagogy, the method and practice of teaching, especially as an academic subject or theoretical concept. Alright, already learning new words. Pedagogy or pedagogy? Nah, it's pedagogy. Or my theory of learning. I figured that if you understood what is valuable in this class, example, failure, then you would learn to not sweat the small stuff. Failure is a good example because it is something that stresses us out. but is actually a necessary element in learning. Not regurgitating, but learning. Third section, which begins with left brain, right brain, is more concerned with the logic of this class, poetics, and so I wrote a little about metaphor, the MU dictionary, gestalt switches, and the like. While some of the boundaries are a little fluid, the info is all here on the page. This class uses a lot of theory, but it's not anything that you will be tested on or anything like that. We are using bits and pieces of theory to work with poetics, and in more and less standard writing class you would be introduced to rhetoric, which has its own theory, but you'd mostly avoid the theory and just learn how to play by the rules laid down by the professor. That's not to say that there are not rules to follow here as well. It's just that the rules are not attached to the grades, so you will need to pay close attention. Beyond the home page, the modules themselves begin with necessary readings that lead into exercises where you get to apply what you have learned. The exercises are scaffolds to assist you in completing the assignments, and assignments are essential for completing your artifact. The Google cites me story, whatever. Okay, we learn nothing from things we know. So basically, I'm gonna read some stuff and then take a test on it. He's gonna see how my reading comprehension skills are, and then he will change up his class according to how people think and learn and comprehend what they read. Basically, it's for him to better teach, basically. And the class is not going to be like traditional shit that you guys are used to in high school kind of English stuff, because it makes it like he said, like people end up focusing on how to pass the grade than actually learning about the subject, which I was preaching when I was in high school. That's why I hated fucking the way the school system set up. Anyways, introduction and course objective. The entirety of this class is based on Dr. Greg Ulmer's book, Internet Intervention. The book seeks to help students use secondary orality, aka media culture, to locate their value system. The practical aspect is that if you understand what drives you, then you will make a better career life choices. The more theoretical aspect is that solving the problem of seeing your value system means that you can use this process to solve problems that affect your community. We are only working with the practical aspect in the class, but some of the readings allude to the second aspect because that aspect was covered in the book. Let me put my stream on my YouTube stream on my TV, so it'll help light up the room because it's basically all white. Now, in this class, you will learn how to synthesize sources using the CAT anti-method, Ulmer's pedagogy, I don't know how to pronounce that one. Let's type it in again. Paste. Okay.
Pedagogy.
Okay.
Pedagogy.
Okay. That fixes that. Ulmer's pedagogy. Let's go of the nonsensical structure that one should have a thesis before beginning to research. Instead, CAT demands the student conduct research in order to develop a topic. Source. What does this lead me to? CAT, the anti-method for architectural research. Okay, that explains what that is. The CAT is an experiment, and its validation is in its application and whether or not it works. Another source. Dragline. Introduction to CAT. Heuretics. CAT method in defense of heuristic pedagogy. Okay. Use theory, aka complex text, to create and develop informed perspectives. Theory is the obligation to fundamental research that librarians crave. Ulmer's formula recognizes that it takes theory to make theory, and that an academic research is part of a scholarly conversion. To join the world of academic research, one must reference back to the clearly established notions. And finally, you will invent an artifact that will take shape of a website blog that will serve as a repository for your semester-long research on your value system. So basically, you get graded, or you grade yourself technically, but you get graded at the end of the semester once you turn everything in. The course layout is broken up into modules. Each module contains an overview reading which explains the materials and theory under discussion that week. Course focus: not rhetoric but poetics, or not rhetoric but hyper rhetoric. This class is special. It's special in the sense that we are not working with rhetoric, but are instead working with new media poetics, which is a product of secondary orality, or a mode of communication and world making brought to us by internet new media. While we may grapple with reality without new media, its arrival means that there is now a new reality that have been coined hyperreality. Hyperreality isn't more real, it's just a reality that has been blended with simulated sensations. Hyperreality is a reality interface with by the internet. Alright, so how long is this hyperreality? Let's watch this. Alright, so is this on YouTube? Where is this from? Hyperreality by Keiichi Matsuda? Alright, let's play it. Let's see what it does. That is loud as fuck. Let me put the volume down.
Fantastic. Great. Nice. Great.
Bastante. Apúrate si quieres una buena calificación.
Voy lo más rápido que puedo.
¿Has pensado en correr? Es saludable y eficiente.
I don't know what the hell that was or what that is. Hyperreality. From Keiichi Matsuda on Vimeo. Hence, along with the hyperreality, a new hyper version of an old school rhetoric, think ancient Greeks, is now coming to existence, and we must understand it in order to use it effectively. Like, what the fuck? I don't get what this is yet, so I'm just as confused as anyone else watching this. Hence, along with the reality, a new hyper version of old school rhetoric, think ancient Greeks, is now coming into existence, and we must understand it in order to use it effectively. While you will encounter some lectures on new media poetics, they are only there to help you understand poetics. In this class, you will use poetics rather than gather info about it to create an artifact. Artifact is called mystery. That's how he pronounced it in class. It will be your invention, and the project itself will take up the entire semester. Thinking of it as your research project. Think of it as your research project. This project can only succeed if it uses the elements found in new media, which would be the combining of text, image, song, and most importantly, mood, to create the feeling of being in tune or attuned to the world. We may call this being in the mood for something, or in the pocket. If you're a musician, whatever we all search for it. Many times this feeling may elude on social media, but it's vibe that we are all plugged into. Your work will use mood, image, and text to produce website, blog, and you will use tools, logic of new media to do it. The main goal for you personally in constructing the artifact is to reveal your value system to you, not through analysis and rational thinking, but through mood. The main goal of the class is to assist you in the writing process by providing you with the necessary tools and understanding to work with synthesis or by associative reasoning. This skill is essential for you working with new media as well as any type of creative work, which includes college essay writing. While we will work with MLA, mostly a typing skill and analysis, the main focus is not in these areas. But you, just like high school, MLA was like the pretty much what English class was mainly about, using MLA format to do all your research projects and blah blah blah. Anyways, and analysis, the main focus is not in these areas, but you'll learn about them nonetheless. Poetics in the class has nothing to do with writing poetry. When I write the word poetics, I am referring to poetics of new media, which relies on computation, so CGI, the internet, advertisements, etc. This media operates via poetics in that rather than attempting to persuade through word or speech, new media constructs worlds for us to occupy. It's going to be a lot of reading. This last bit means that we are always ready inside of the worlds. Inside of these worlds, okay, which is why it is very difficult to see new medium poetics like we see text printed on a page or hear a person giving a speech. A lot of the time in the class is dedicated to attuning you to the mood of these worlds. What's a meme? Watch on YouTube. I'm not gonna. Should I press play? Let's press play.
Link.
You emailed me a link to read, but it wasn't an article about Obama having an illegitimate Taliban baby. It was some song from the 80s, I think.
Oh yeah. Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down. I rickroll you.
You what?
Rickroll. Gotcha.
What's a rickroll, and how did you get me?
It's the Rick Astley video. I got you to watch it. Never gonna turn around and forget you.
Why do you keep singing that song?
Rickrolled, okay. Technically, the professor just rickrolled his students. Nice. Anyways, new media poetics can be focused to those who do not understand the cheap currency of references to enter. Is it still playing? Stop playing. The internet has quickened the lifespan of slang and fame, which means that what's hip today may be quickly forgotten by tomorrow, right, Josh Harnett? But can you feel the mood here? The bear on the right is attuned, whereas the one on the left is not. Poetics has world-creating capacities. Frosh 12. By world-creating capacities, just think about how certain songs can become part of a soundtrack of your life mix that you play in order to feel a certain way about yourself or your world. Think about films, videos, clips that you want to watch because they understand what makes you laugh, tick, or they show you how the world works, which is usually something you already know. The film, video, clip, meme confirms it for or to you. Shit. Already getting unfocused. Whew. Okay, where did I leave off? In a word, poetics never convinces you to persuade or persuades you as rhetoric must do, because we always see rhetoric or something outside of us that is trying to find its way into our hearts and minds, whereas poetics is already deeply in M's shed with our. This is a new word. What the fuck? Okay, I haven't heard or used that word before. Enmesh. Oh, enmeshed. Okay.
Enmesh.
Cause to become entangled. Okay. Duh. Enmesh. Okay. This ED basically confused me. Okay, I heard that before. Enmeshed with our life world because it has a hand in creating that world. So much so that it appears as if the very wallpaper of our lives. Frosh 36. When you identify with a song, you do so by feeling it rather than offering an interpretation of its meaning. You already know what it means to you through how it makes you feel. Explaining that feeling is another task altogether. How does one understand poetics then? I think that the only way to grasp this poetics is to use it to construct something for yourself. And so in the class, we invent rather than interpret. Okay, new media poetics can make us all feel like experts. New media poetics is something with which you are already acquainted, but you probably don't realize how well acquainted you are. Second, rhetoric is the art of persuasion, but new media poetics is the art of creation. The Greeks invented rhetoric as part of their oral culture, but they attempted to lock in rules for when they took alphabetic writing up a notch and two from the Egyptians. Rhetoric is a speech aimed at changing an audience beliefs. Propaganda, a close cousin to rhetoric, just works to get the audience to act regardless of its beliefs. While poetics isn't as in your face as rhetoric, it is also concerned with changing, confirming beliefs and actions. But unlike written rhetoric or propaganda, media poetics get you at the emotional level, and one way that it accomplishes this is through images and mood. These images can be digital or they can be cast forth by your consciousness to appear in your mind's eye. It might seem like I am being vague or obtuse about new media poetics. It is because new media poetics is vague and obtuse. And so you can't just walk right up to it, slap a label on it, and be done. We cannot do this because our world and the worlds of new media poetics are already intimately intertwined. New media always invites us to experience a situation, to feel it rather than process it logically. We may be able to take a writer's claims apart and so perform an analysis on the logic behind the writing. But new media works through emotion, through mood, and you cannot analyze mood like you would claim. I think these were supposed to be pictures that are not coming up. Alright. Last, because this class is focused on poetics rather than rhetoric, you will do a lot of writing in this class. But it is not formal writing, which means that while you will be held to a specific standard, you will not be required to write to me or see me as the gatekeeper of your grade. However, you will have to use the modified SLOs to arrive at your final grade. In other words, while I will let you know when your writing needs help, grammar, syntax, you will not be writing to a standard measure of quality. Rather, you will use writing and other modes to create in order to reveal your personal and ethical standard or measure your value system. Understanding how poetics works will help you in many ways, but in this class we are interested in understanding media poetics so that we can engage with it at a more thoughtful remove than we usually do. 2. Using poetics to create an invention of your own, which hopefully will reveal our value system as something that we did not expect. This semester we will be making a me story, and the main purpose of the me story is to reveal our value system back to us. If you do it right, that should happen. 3. Using media poetics to assist us in our future academic writing projects. Unlike brainstorming, media poetics uses associative logic, which you will familiarize yourself with as as you work through the my story. The task this semester: invent an artifact, use new media poetics to create a mystery project. This semester's focus: explain the mystery. First, some basic premises of the mystery. Argument has limitations. Linear logical reasoning has limitations. Pattern information is a form of expression that resembles dream logic. Dream logic is a new media logic. New media demand on invention of new practices. Narrative remains an important method for expression, even in new media. Ideas come from the intersection of various areas of experience. The personal is always tied to invention. The creative process is vital to composing. The mystery is a narrative. Its heuristic is the popsicle. The popsicle brings together four areas of discourse we use to make sense of the world. Okay, the personal, the family. And right, the four quadrants he was talking about in class. So basically you're gonna find your value system within each quadrant and then put it all together at the end of or throughout the semester, and then turn it in at the end of the semester. The personal, family, entertainment, popular culture, discipline, what one becomes an expert in, community. So this could be like a career. Blogging, medium for the mystery project. This semester is the blog. Details of technology requirements are provided in class. Requirements. The goal of the semester project is to discover and design your image of wide scope. Example. Right. I use EX for example. I think that's also another way to put example. Your value system. The image of wide scope, aka the emblem themata, the wide image, is basically like the logo that companies create for their products only in logo. And continue. Like the logo that companies create for their products only in this case, it is your logo. It's the brand for your value system, the values that make you tick. What this image is and the method for composing it are described in the modules and student examples. We are not using the blog in the vernacular style, practiced intuitively by many of the blogs currently appearing online at the rate of 2 per minute. Okay. Based on the signed readings and student models, you will practice or you will compose a mystery that includes the following sections. No, a mystery is the collection of documents from within which the image of wide scope emerges as the pattern. To discover your wide image, you must first compose a mystery. A collection of student mysteries or images of wide scope is available in the mystery museum. See special link below. Okay. The mystery popsicle. 1. Family story. The concept of the wide image is based on a study of lives of numerous creative people working in a great variety of fields in the arts and sciences. One of the principal findings of the study is the importance of childhood experiences and memories to creative process in one's career field or profession. The purpose of this section of the blog is to put into the micro-narrative form some memories, scenes from your childhood. Shit. Okay. If anyone from high school sees this, if we had any classes together, well, we had to do like a family story or whatever, this is like a difficult project to get into. Anyways, whatever. I'll see how that turns out. 2. Entertainment scene. Select one narrative in any medium: film, TV, literature, comics, video games. Entertainment. YouTube. I'm a YouTuber, Twitch, and Facebook streamer. I play video games a lot. I do unboxings. You name it. I think you guys know what this one is gonna be about, right? That is especially memorable from your childhood. Okay. From my childhood or adolescence prior to age of 18. Document a key scene of this story world. Okay. TV. Dragon Ball Z. That's basically what really hits me. Dragon Ball Z. And video games, maybe like the Nintendo 64, The Legend of Zelda, Super Smash Bros. I'll see what I could make of this section. 3. Felt atmosphere. As an experiment in electricity, our mystery is designed not as a... I want to know what this word means too. It's not electricity, it's electricity. Electricity, a theory by Gregory Ulmer that describes the skills necessary to exploit the full communicative potential of a new electronic media such as multimedia, hypermedia, social software, virtual worlds. Okay. Our mystery is designed not as a text but as a felt, using image haiku logic. This third section juxtaposes elements. Learning English vocabulary already. What the fuck does juxtaposes mean?
Juxtapose.
Oh, juxtapose. Okay.
Juxtapose.
What does it mean? Place or deal with close together for contrasting effect. Okay, for example, black and white photos of slums were starkly juxtaposed with color images. Synonyms: place, set, side by side, place, set, close to one another. Juxtapose. So this third section juxtaposes elements from the first two sections, using the entertainment scene as a metaphor, figure, allegory. I'm not sure if I ever pronounced that right. Allegory or allegory. Allegory. I go with allegory. To express the mood atmosphere of the family story. Oh shit. Okay. An afterword or commentary section in which you assess the design and learning process of the my story so far. What was the experience during that composition? Do you have ideas at some point about the possible pattern of your wide image? Which student story did you find the most helpful? What were some of the difficulties you had with this project? Details of the above instructions and requirements are specified, explained, discussed in class. Alright. Jesus, I have a shit ton of stuff to read. I'm on the Student Learning Objectives, SLO. Your work with the story. Here's the list of student learning objectives. I'm trying to go as fast as I can, but you guys, because you guys have technology of like YouTube, Twitch, you guys could go to settings and then speed up the process. Lucky bastards. Anyways, here is the list of SLOs of this course. You may be able to see the SLOs are aligned in chronological order in that you will begin with pre-writing and end with citations, MLA, and polished prose. This order assumes an essay format. We are not working with this format in class, hence I had to reinterpret the SLOs to fit this class. Compose effective college-level essays using a variety of rhetorical strategies and applying appropriate citations and formatting standards. SLO number 1. Use pre-writing, drafting, revision, editing, proofreading to create essays. Write focused, thoughtful thesis statements. Support opinions in writing through careful critical thinking. Adequately develop essays using a variety of approaches such as comparison, contrast, classification, definition, narration, description, casual. Adequately develop essays using a variety of approaches such as comparison. Did I just lose my spot and reread the same shit? Support opinions writing through careful critical thinking. Adequately develop essays using a variety of approaches such as this shit. Construct a logical argument in writing that deals with the opposition and gives reasons to support a claim. Achieve coherence and unity in writing at 3 levels: sentence, paragraph, and essay. Organize written text logically without dependence on formulaic prescriptions. Research, evaluate, and synthesize sources to support a thesis. Use MLA documentation format correctly. Summarize, paraphrase, and directly quote outside sources as support for his or her ideas. Research and incorporate sources effectively and meaningfully. Excuse me. In writing. Critically analyze, compare, and evaluate various complex works. SLO number 3. Annotate and analyze written text and respond thoughtfully to them. I'm not gonna remember a lot of this shit. I don't think anyone would. But this is probably gonna stay on there so I could go back and forth and reread it. And I can always go to my own YouTube video and just watch it, play it while I sleep. Or some shit. Compare various complex words. Okay. Annotate and analyze written text and respond thoughtfully to them. Analyze and evaluate threefold rhetoric or rhetorical concerns of audience, writer, and messages in written texts. Effectively critic his or her own and other students' writing. Apply the conventions of standard written English, employing a variety of sentence structures and college-level diction. Use clear and varied sentences to write error-free prose. You may be wondering why I designed this English writing course this way. Here are a list of reasons. 1. Because using imagination and felt values for knowing is part of our biological inheritance, and we should privilege these aspects of knowing as much as we do to the analytical side of our brain. To paraphrase David Thomas of the punk band Pierre Ubu, don't know them, if you only know something through analysis, then you don't really know what that thing then you don't really know the thing, because things are multi-sided. Okay, key insight number 2. This is also SLO 1, except instead of using rhetorical models, we are using poetics instead. So it's completely opposite of high school. Because using imagination and felt values makes your thinking more flexible, which means that you are more apt to think outside of the box, i.e., be innovative and creative when the need arises. Veritasium video and keys insight number 5. This links with SLO 2, except inside of using evaluation to know when to cull sources and developing synthesis to blend them. We are synthesizing images with moods and feelings and evaluating our work through the theories we apply to that work. Because knowing yourself, the values that motivate you, is, according to Socrates, the first step to knowledge. Irony finds its home too easily in humans. Why do we explore space when so many problems loom large in the world right outside our doorstep? Similarly, why are we such in a hurry to get to our career goals when we most likely don't know why these goals matter to us in the first place? This class is an attempt to address these flaws of vision. Reference video, Carol's Dweck's growth mindset video, and key insight number 5. Interestingly, There is no course SLO that corresponds to this aspect of human understanding. Okay. Number 4, because in the long run, embracing Gestalt switches as a transformative tool will make you not only a better thinker, but a better writer, because you will be more apt to see avenues of thought that you did not see previously. Reference video key insight number 3, and here are emphasizing SLOs too, because the Gestalt switch is a moment where you see the thesis and antithesis that occurs just prior to any attempt at synthesis. Like anyone would say, like, what if I don't become a writer? What if I don't write shit? What if I don't make a book or any of that in the future? You might. Like, technically, this is a vlog within a vlog of making vlogs. Or not vlogs, but like blogs. It's a blog vlog just for this class. Because in the long run, embracing Gestalt switches as a transformative tool will make you not only a better thinker, but a better writer, because you will be more apt to see avenues of thought that you would not see previously. I just read the same shit over again. SLO2, because the Gestalt switch is the moment where you see the thesis and... Okay, yeah, I read it. Number 5, because it makes the course more equitable. Although I am making you write in a style and use methods that you are unfamiliar with, this unfamiliarity is spread evenly across the board. Everyone is uncomfortable with the class. Everyone. I am also not grading you on how well you conform your writing to my standards. Instead, you are being given the responsibility to grade yourself, and while that grading revolves around the SLOs, it is also considered your changes in habits of mind and thought, which is something that only you can measure. There's going to be a lot of contradicting, a lot of, what is that other C word? Controversy within the semester, within this class, within yourself, basically. It is basically a warning. Number 6, because clarity isn't helping you learn, it just presents you with the illusion that you are learning. Yep. This class requires system 2 thinking, and system 2 is... Wait, this class requires system 2 thinking, and system 2 is how you learn. But system 2 is also very lazy. Okay. The good news is that towards the end of the class, you will, if you apply yourself, develop an internal schema. He mentioned it in class, but I'm just gonna... I wanted to search up the actual definition of it.
Schema.
A representation of a plan or theory in the form of an outline or model. Reference guide that will allow you to use system 1. To get the job done, if this happens, you now have evidence that you learned something new. Key point, this movement is how we develop and hone critical thinking skills, which really what SLO1 is all about. Okay, number 7, because this course is supposed to school you in ways to become more literate meaning that you become familiar with the forms and practices of writing, we generally privilege forms of academic writing, even though most of you will never enter the academic world as a scholar. I have decided to also privilege other forms of writing that will benefit you in more practical ways. But I am also keeping academic writing in sight. It's just no longer the only game in town, because why should it be? To be literate in today's world means that you have to become familiar with popular modes of communication and persuasion. Learning forms of argumentation isn't going to help you debate your friends and win them over. ever. Learning MLA format will help you until MLA changes its format, which they do every couple of years. That is fucking true. That's what I said in high school. I'm like, they change it every year or two. Then what the fuck are we learning this shit for? And then I ended up forgetting the website where you could go search it up, but I'm pretty sure you could Google MLA format, look for the 2022, 2023 version of it, or whichever year you guys are viewing this video in. Much to my chagrin, he is using a lot of unknown words. Chagrin.
Chagrin. Chagrin.
Chagrin. Distress or embarrassment at having failed or been humiliated. Feel distressed or humiliated. Oh, okay. Chagrin.
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 Chagrin. Okay. I'm going to try to remember that. Chagrin. Humiliated instead. Chagrin. And besides, it is only a typing skill. It's only a typing skill. Learning how to write a research paper also does nothing for you other than exposing you to a form of writing. You will only use it in classroom situations, never in the world. I think everyone was preaching this shit when they had to take English in every fucking English class in high school. Never in this world, and you're probably doing it wrong anyways. Yep, I'm totally serious here. Yep. The story is a research, but it's researching your interpellation. Interpellation.
Interpellation.
Interpellation. Okay.
Interpellate.
Interpellation.
Noun form of interpellate.
Interpellate.
Okay. In certain parliamentary systems, interrupt the order of the day by demanding an explanation from the minister concerned. Philosophy of an ideology or discourse. Bring into being or give identity to an individual or category. Okay, so the story is the research, but it's researching your interpellation, figuring out the values that you hold at a subconscious level is your research question. Coming up with an answer thesis will take you the entire semester, and you may fail in the process but still learn something just the same. I'm fine with that. Reference video key insight number 4. At the end of the course, you'll have your own reasons, but these are just some of mine. I hope that you eventually come to see them as yours as well. I know that this is all a big read for the first week of the class. However, look at it as a guide rather than something that you need to know. Yes, there is a quiz, but you get 3 attempts and it's all basic stuff. Just read at your leisure and let your brain take care of the rest. Alright, how grading works in the class. Grading. The idea in this class is that you do the work and then reflect the grade and grade it yourself. What you are basing these grades on is a flipped version of this class student learning objectives. Because the course was designed with rhetoric in mind, I have had to flip these objectives so that they make sense for our purposes, which entailed a lot of translating on my part. The good news is that I've also flipped the class so that all the lectures are online, so that we can work on the exercises in the classroom. So that's nice. Lectures are to be read by you online whenever you can, in pieces, but yep, at your own pace basically. And then in class we're actually gonna be doing this stuff or applying it. The rule of the game, the basic ground rule, you get access or you get to assess your progress and assign a final grade for yourself on one condition. You complete all the assignments to the best of your ability and in a timely fashion. There is no late penalty, however, there is a late notice, but it's just that, a notice. If you do not complete all of the coursework, or if you do, but basically do less than the very least that is expected by the prompt, you automatically relinquish your right to grade yourself. Grade, scoring, feedback. While there are points assigned for all work, this is just to give you something to aim for. The grading itself is complete, incomplete, which tells you about the level of work, but nothing about its sophistication. Complete just means acceptable. My feedback is there for you to gauge your progress and to help you revise the assignments that did not meet the expectations of the prompt. My feedback also gives you ways to develop your work. I assess your work in my comments. If you do not read comments in the past, now is the time to do so. You won't progress in the class if you are not reading my feedback. Feedback is now how humans learn. Just saying. It's very true. He said it. Self-assessments are key. Self-assessments are key. At various points throughout the semester, you will be required to submit a self-assessment. At the end of the semester, you will take a look at the work that you have completed and review your essays, and then write a short response paper to me where you state the grade that you think that you deserve, and then support the statement grade by illustrating the quality of your work to me. Sounds simple enough? Hyperlinks are helpful. As you read through the welcome message, you'll see words in blue, which are hyperlinks that take you to other sites if you click on them. I'm not sponsoring or advocating what's happening on these sites, nor do I subscribe to any other organizations or people who have created the content. However, I created these links whenever I thought that a term might need explaining, or you might be helped by some outside context. Whatever he said, same shit. Okay, just because I'm putting this on my YouTube doesn't mean whatever I play within this, I'm not advocating for it either, or sponsoring anything. The only authentic intellectual act is invention. Michael Serres, or Serres. How we learn in this class. Key insight number 1, because we are learning a new approach, the type of thinking that we have to do much harder. It requires more mental effort. However, once we learn, we can use it as a reference for future activities. Anyway, key insight number 1, real thinking is exhausting. The science of thinking. How long is this? Maybe I'll watch it some other time. Videos. Okay, let's just read what the Eureka experience has to be learned the same as anything else. Key insight number 2 is perspective is a necessary component for growth and understanding. Okay, he who jumps into the void owes no explanation to those who stand and watch. June Luck Goddard. Key insight number 3, you don't know what you don't know until you suddenly see what you couldn't see, aka Gestalt switch. Yep. Oh wait. Black hearts, red spades, interstate 60. Okay, maybe some of these videos are probably too long. I don't want to add too much time to this stream. Okay, key insight number 4, failure is an important tool. Key insight number 5, it's not your classmates nor your professor, it's your mindset, aka you can't think outside the box until you realize that there is a box and you are in it. The brain is designed with blind spots, optical and physiological, and one of its cleverest tricks is to confer on us the comforting delusion that we personally do not have any. Carol Tavares and Elliot Aronson. Mistakes were made, but not by me. Okay. And you're thinking about your ability to think is probably the first box you should work to see. Unproductive effort is never a good thing. It's critical to reward not just to effort, but learning and progress, and to emphasize the process that yield these things, such as seeking help from others, trying new strategies, and capitalizing on setbacks to move forward effectively. Carol Dweck, the growth mindset creator. How long have I been streaming? An hour. Ooh. Well, at least we're going through this faster than having to listen to the art history thing. Let's see. And final insight number 6. If you do not have a reference point to draw from, then learning can become frustrating. But like the wash, it all comes out in the end. I like this video for what it says, but I'm perhaps more disturbed by what it glides over. If you know something already, I can easily fit new knowledge into that cozy little pocket. Then you really are not learning new things. Then you really are not learning new things. You are merely placing new things under old headings. Sometimes long-term memory is not the goal you are looking for. Sometimes the goal is to change one perspective for another, because the new perspective gives you better understanding of capital R reality. Sometimes it's not clarity, but a new and deeper pocket that we need. This is the video that we saw in class. While these videos may seem like overkill this early in the semester, having at least watched them gives you a reference point that we now share. I will bring these videos in as examples later in the semester when you are struggling with things. Note that while there are quizzes, they are only to aid in memory retention. There are no tests on these concepts. Okay. What we are learning in this class, working with poetics, left brain, right brain. This semester we will be using a side of our brain that you may not be used to using that often, or at least you probably have not used it in this manner. The video below explains how Greek logic works, which is important because often inductive and deductive reasoning are the main tools of logic that we reach for when trying to solve a problem. However, I included this video not for the inductive and deductive explanations, but for the statement of abductive reasoning. Watch it for this part, as we will be using the logic of poetry XY logic in this class. Again, only in the video from minute 525 onward applies to what you have been reading about. But watch the earlier portion just to get an idea about just how smart those Greek philosophers were. How long is this video? Abduction, induction, and deduction. You guys could search that up. You guys are on YouTube, right? If you guys are on YouTube, you guys could look it up yourselves. This semester will be filled with opportunities to practice XY logic. XY logic uses imagery to develop and channel understanding. Imagery is the main mode for understanding in pre-literate oral cultures. Poetics tool number 1, the Gestalt switch. New realities when experienced are the Gestalt switches. Gestalt switches are the utmost importance in science and other disciplines as well. Gestalt switches are able to change paradigm and then help us to find answers to vexing problems. In a way, the Gestalt switch is what happens when one applies XY logic, which is associative logic. One crucial move that every good historian needs to hone is an openness to Gestalt switch, which involves seeing that which a second before was unseen. The switch usually involves two ways of seeing one thing. What follows is an explanation of Gestalt switch, which is attempting to prime you to think about the multiplicity of meaning that is hidden in a word. Okay, Gestalt switch involves suddenly seeing a new perspective of something or situation that you assumed that you had known, just like Ariel did when she learned that forks are utensils for food and not for hair. Under the sea. The mystery is revealed by these Gestalt switches. Another word for Gestalt switch might be epiphany, as an epiphany is a moment of awareness, like a light going on all of a sudden. For instance, if you have ever pronounced a word wrong for a period of time, and then one day you suddenly learn the correct pronunciation, then you experience a minor epiphany. Gestalt switches can be confusing because they mean that you are experiencing two perspectives at the same time. Gestalt switches are important because they can lead to paradigm shifts. Yep, like me searching, well, not Google searching, right? This is Bing web searching. But yeah, searching words that I don't know, so I could at least read out the definitions. If I forget them, I forget them, but at least it's somewhere in there. Gestalt switches and the meme. Another type of Gestalt switch that is prevalent in new media poetics is the meme and anti-meme. A meme is a clever way to say something, arguably in a way that appeals to the audience, that already agrees with a particular conclusion. Note that memes and anti-memes are in the domain of poetics, and so we feel them before we think them, if we ever think them, that is. Here's a meme that would appeal to vegans, or those who are against factory farming, which is pretty much just about all farming these days. Meme. People who post memes like the meme is not on there. People who post memes like the one above feel pretty good about their own ethical standing in the world because they probably don't eat factory farmed meat, and so they congratulate themselves for their ethical standards and for saving the animals. But do they eat store-bought tomatoes? What vegans and those who despise factory farming might not know is that even vegetables can be bad for you. Actually, some vegetables are just plain unethical, and we shouldn't even think about buying them. For instance, did you know that every tomato that you buy in the store most likely came from somewhere outside of your town? Sure you did, but did you know that these tomatoes, in order to get to your store, used an average at least 6 tablespoons of diesel fuel to make that trip to your store? So your plump, red, and not very juicy nor very tasty tomato from the store is ramping up the climate change, just like factory farming is proliferating cruelty. This is why when gas prices rise, tomato prices rise even higher. Yep. We are omnivores. I eat fruits, vegetables, and meat. Everything. Fruit, vegetables, it's just like the whole damn pyramid. I haven't found anything that I'm allergic to, so I'm just gonna keep on eating everything. If I feel like eating it at the time. Let's not even get into sushi or bananas. My point is that memes tend to appeal to those who see their argument statement as common sense. Meme tells us what we already know and have drawn sides over. Anti-meme tells us something that we don't know, and so we may ignore it or consider it irrelevant to the world. If you try to explain to someone how their favorite meme is complete bullshit, they will not like you, very much because the meme represents their common sense understanding of the world, and the thing about common sense views is that while they are very common, they are usually lacking sound sense. But we love them anyway, and will fight anyone who tries to show us otherwise. because it's not about the facts, but how we experience the world and our place in it. If you try to explain to someone who prides themselves on their ethical buying and eating habits that they are still, for all their efforts, just as complicit as the rest of us in proliferating mass destruction and cruelty, well, they won't like you very much because you have upset their version of the world and their place in it. Anti-memes are usually misunderstood by an audience right away because the audience does not have the understanding or context to appreciate the meme's argument statement. The anti-meme cuts against audience's common sense view of the world, but the audience tries it can locate that context, and once they do, they will never see the store-bought tomatoes the same way again. An anti-meme does not offer an argument about the world, it simply offers another perspective from which to view the world. This is why it is often ignored. Alright, note, common sense is scared quoted because common sense views are often like Ariel understanding of the dingle hopper, in that they appear to work until we experience an epiphany about them, which usually reveals your ignorance or our ignorance back to us. Gestalt switches in psychology. Another example of Gestalt switch, not as literary in this picture. Okay, picture doesn't come up. The young woman, old woman, ambiguous figure, also known as my wife and my mother-in-law, was created by an anonymous illustrator in the late 19th century Germany and reproduced on a postcard. William Ellie Hill, 18. Okay, British cartoonist produced a later well-known version. The later well-known version was first published in the magazine Puck in 1915. If you see the young woman, look at the young woman's chin and think of it as a large nose, and look at the woman's ear and think of it as an eye. If you see the old woman, look at the old woman's nose and think of it as the left cheek of a face looking away from you, and look at the old woman's eye and think of it as an ear on a face looking away from you. Effect. You should experience a Gestalt switch between seeing the image as an old woman or a young woman. Okay, Gestalt switches and paradigm shifts in science and industry. Thomas Kuhn is most famous for his book on the structure of scientific revolutions. In it, he argues that all the really good revolutions of thought happen via Gestalt switch, which leads to complete paradigm shift in scientific models of reality. Okay. Exercises that you undertake in this class are mostly geared towards helping you experience the Gestalt switch. However, experience this switch is not something that people look forward to, as the video illustrates. How far am I? Am I getting close? Oh shit. Okay, where am I? Right here, right? Gestalt switch is marketing and innovation. Folks, I haven't even hit 2 hours. Shit. Some boring shit. Yeah, I know. But if you guys want to take college classes and then do the work, this is the kind of shit that you guys are gonna have to go back into. So. Folks, all of this talk about Gestalt switches is about getting you to practice another word that I don't know. Bisociation. I don't even know how to pronounce it. The simultaneous mental association of an idea or object with two fields ordinarily not regarded as related. Bisociation. Okay. so that you can create new innovative work with your writing. We can view pictures with built-in Gestalt switches all day long and never learn how to create Gestalt switch. In this class, you need to both work with it and create Gestalt switches is an essential move in inventing your story. Now, a lot of what we are doing in the class is explained in 3-step by association process mentioned in the video. So if the readings ever become too much, just fall back on what you know about the association and go from that angle. Since I'm teaching the class, I have to make sure that you all get some exposure to the ideas and concept that drives poetics. But you are not meant to become an expert. You're meant to become a user of poetics. Alright, poetics tool number 2, the MU dictionary as a means for metaphor development. One way to think about XY logic is through the MU dictionary. Click on the link. We will use the MU dictionary to assist us in our poetics. The MU dictionary places human knowledge into 4 quadrants. Most of us humans feel comfortable working into quadrants A and B, but less so when working with C and D. Most of your work in this class will be in the C and D quadrants, but the hard part is that you will be actively interpreting. What time is it? 6:41. All right. Actively interpreting A and B knowledge through into C and D experiences. The goal of the process is to create a larger Gestalt switch for you where you see your value system pop out at you as if for the first time. If the class experiment is successful for you, this is what will happen. Because our brains are trained in the A-B mindset, this means that you will most likely have to return to the previous prompt to revise your initial work, because you will still be working from the A-B mindset until you are not. It takes time for your brain to jump from an A-B mindset to C-D one. No worries on my end, but don't you stress either, since quadrants C and D are geared towards imagination and felt emotional values. Let's talk about the function of metaphor in this class. Connotation versus denotation. Regarding the MU, C, and D quadrants, connotative rather than denotative meaning is more the norm, unlike denotative meaning, which is basically factual. Connotative means it's rooted in the emotional world, which is not something that we have words for. XY logic uses connotation to get at meaning. When you are completing these exercises, keep in mind that the literal or denotative answer is generally the wrong answer. Let's consider the example of a house versus a home. In the English language, a house is denotative in that it is a word that brings to mind the physical properties, qualities of a constructed dwelling. In the English language, a house. Houses have 4 walls, indoor plumbing, etc. However, unlike the utilitarian house, a home is where the heart is. The home is home for the holidays, home plate, homemade, home baked. Home means all kind of good emotional vibes. Your experience of home might not be positive, but our culture takes on it. It is. Therefore, home is connotative in meaning that the value that what better way to emphasize this warmth, but with a nice shade of violet. Okay. XY logic examples. The poetic Robert Burns wrote, "My Louvre is like a red, red rose." Burns' Louvre as a woman, a human mammal, she is the X. Burns compares his lover with a rose, and in a simile, he uses the word like instead of just writing that she is a rose, which would be a hard metaphor, whereas the simile is a weak metaphor. Burns' rose is the Y. Burns could have written that he really loves his Louvre Or that his love is quite lovely, or love, whatever, but would all be x'd out. Logic in the train of thought is running on the same track. Conclusion: by comparing this love to a rose, or love, I think he's out. I don't know if that's spelled right, love, whatever. Burns' logic has left the X track and is now running on the Y track. The Y track is the track of metaphor, figurative languages. The Y track is only accessible through the C and D quadrants of the MU. Further conclusion: by availing himself to XY logic, Burns is able to say more about his love, in one sense, that he could have said if he made a list of qualities and characteristics of his love. Where am I? It is important because new perspectives open new realities. You may have noticed that I assign colors to X and Y. This imagery, you could say that the green is earth and the blue is sky. X is rooted while Y floats free above you in the heavens. Trying them together gives us a different way of knowing. Note that none of this is true. X is not green and is not earthy, nor is Y blue or heavenly. This is just figurative language and helps you to see what I'm saying. I got it. Imagine this scene where Burns uses only X. Robert Burns, motioning to the woman at the side and speaking with a deep Scottish brogue. And this is my love, Emily. She is like my best friend, you know? You. Oh, cool. Nice to meet you, Emily. There is no new emotionally charged reality opening up to you in that introduction. Logic is a way to confirm reality, but it should always allow us to switch our view of reality for a more comprehensive or helpful one. Notice that Burns' poem, in order to communicate its concept of love, does so through the intellect, but through feelings. The red, red rose is all feelings and no thinking, because the color red is already mired in emotion. Okay. Poetics tool number 5. Neologisms. Neologism. Neologism. A new word, usage, or expression. Neologisms. Let me just hear how they pronounce it.
Neologism.
Neologism. Okay. Neologism. Alright. Neologisms are common in the knowledge fields that rely on innovation to advance. Googling began life as a neologism because no one knew what to call whatever it was we were all doing online. Psychology, a new word from what is coined especially by a person affected with schizophrenia and is meaningless except to the coiner, and is typically a combination of two existing worlds, or shortening or distortion of an existing world. Neologisms are common in the world of theory because this world is pushing the conceptual envelope, so to speak. Theory is concerned with how we understand the world and not with the world itself per se. Because of this, theory routinely has to make up terms of art to be as precise as possible, understand the world and not with the world itself per se. Because of this, theory routinely has to make up terms of art to be as precise as I just read it again. To be as precise as possible about a situation or idea, and also these words are necessary because all of the other ones are already connected to tired and shop-worn ideas. Like anti-memes, neologisms are confusing or invisible to the uninitiated and so they will take some time to understand. The cool or annoying thing is that about neologisms is that they show you just how pliable I've heard it before, but I've never seen it defined. Let's do that right now. Pliable or pliable?
Pliable.
Pliable. Easily bent, flexible. Easily influenced. Pliable. Okay. Language can be, and you will need to become very adept at applying language in this class. Terms and labels. Okay. Okay. Speaking of XY logic, the act of naming should help us understand something better, not create yet another layer of mud that we have to struggle through to get to the thing in question. On the other hand, sometimes the word itself is what keeps us from seeing the thing with fresh eyes. For instance, the word smart is one that we use when referring to someone who does well in college. However, from the early 1700s to the mid 1850s, the word was actually a derogatory noun for those who think they are all that. The word authenticity was never applied to the inner lives of human beings until the middle of the 1900s. Knowing these facts can make you see that word in a new way, and can also make you wonder about the other words as well. Suddenly you might see that all words are not as solid in meaning as you once thought. Why do names matter? When it comes to Gestalt switches, aka new perspectives of reality or new ways of being, acting, bringing in new terms is an easy way to alert someone to the changes in the paradigm. Here's an example of with F-bombs. I want to, but like almost done. I want to get this done because I think I have to do something else in this class other than read this shit. I should have read this shit. I was busy while I was at the college. There was other stuff that I was trying to get done, and I gotta stretch. One of the things was I was waiting for my last class, or last two classes to be accepted and for me to be enrolled in, because I want to have plenty of units so that I can actually activate my GI Bill to get paid, right? And have all my tuition paid for. So I needed those, and I was still basically waiting on the placement office to read an email from my success coach saying that because I wasn't able to do it online, like enroll in the both, like Math 76 is a prerequisite that has to coincide with Math 3 through 5, which is trigonometry and trigonometry / pre-cal. So they're together, and I wasn't able to do either or because the system wouldn't allow it unless I had the other one enrolled in. So I had to enroll in one to enroll in the other, and vice versa. So it was impossible, and I don't think I was the only one that went through that glitch in the system, but had it resolved that day, and then bought the book necessary for that class. Or not the book, but the program that allows me to, is a subscription that for like 120 days, so that should be enough for the first semester. I'll pay for it again if I fail it, but hopefully I don't. Alright, as you can see here in this short clever animation, the change of the term Chinaman and Asian American is not just a change of terms, but a change of mindset paradigm. If you are not following this example, let me know, and I will bring in others. But my point is that new words are necessary when we are working with new realities, perspectives. Okay, I could kind of guess what this video was about. Greg Olmers explains in his book, Internet Intervention, that some of the terms he uses are neologisms, Words that he invented, such as mystery and popsicle, or pop cycle, and electracy. While the etymology of these words is quite intriguing, they lack the degree of substance necessary to immediately comprehend and internalize them for practical application. Pop cycle, for example, is introduced in a 3.5-page description incorporating 2 comments and 1 rather lengthy example. In this term and other uncommon terms are then consistently referred to throughout the text, but their lack of internalization often caused me to feel as though I just entered the middle of a conversation and wasn't quite sure what the discussion was about. A brief glossary would have been helpful in this respect, and so I have attached one to the last module. This seemingly negative characteristic, though, also serves to emphasize the need for a new vocabulary in a genre fueled not by rhetoric, the standard field of college English, but poetics, and the need for students and teachers to electracy to be open to these new terms. Either that, or we should support Omer in the proposition for his neologism, neopest, to name a person who makes up words needlessly. That's fucking awesome. This semester main project, the Misstory. The Misstory process that you are about to embark on uses all manner of neologisms, literally new words. For instance, the word Misstory is playing with the sense of telling your own story, which is literally a mystery to you until you tell it. For Omer, the word is also meant to evoke the early Greek Eleusinian mystery religion. Okay, that was hard to pronounce. I probably mispronounced it too. That Plato figuratively referred to in his books Phaedrus, which employed the grain winnowing baskets that Omer references in a section on Chora, which is a place of becoming winnowing for Omer, is how the mystery of the Misstory gets solved. I've also noticed that being able to coin new words or apply puns illustrates that language is pliable. So pliable, in fact, that sometimes it can feel a little like you're working with silly putty rather than written words. The point of all these references, one requirement of the Misstory, is that you must work figuratively or metaphorically with words and images, and for this reason, hard and fast labels are not helpful. So you will need to embrace the fluidity of language if you want your Misstory to actually work. In short, you need to open yourself up to creating new words to describe things that may resist categories. Okay. Almost there. Okay, Poetics 2, number 6. Finally, the anti-method for our Poetics cat. I'm hoping that bringing cats out of the bag this early, pun intended, I bet, out of the bag this early won't scare you too much, but it's good to get a sense of how you will be required to work, and so at least mentioning this anti-method is important to that end. CAT is called an anti-method because methods produce intended results. CAT is an experiment that may or may not produce results, and the results will never be what you intended. If the results are what you intended, then chances are you did it wrong. CAT is an acronym that stands for contrast, association or analogy, theory, target, tale. In your work, you will be asked to come up with 2 unlike things. The more unlike they are, the better. These things may be a title from a book and an image of something unconnected. This is the contrast step. You will then build a relationship between these 2 things, but the relationship will be constructed of mood, feeling, emotion. This is the analogy association step in the process. Okay, these two moves are the most common, and so you will be tasked again and again to make them. The theory is merely the stuff we read and then apply. Usually theory is well theoretically and so involved a good measure of conceptual thinking. However, however, we do not care about this. We only want to understand a small part of the theory so that we can use it in some creative way to help us build our story. For example, Roland Barthes wrote a book detailing his ideas about punctum. We don't care about the book. We care about using the emotional sting to help us create associations between the things we put in contrast. So we use mood and a feeling to create the connection, and we're done with punctum. No test essays or anything more dealing with punctum will come across your virtual desk. The target is up to you to decide, but in the class it is usually one of the pop cycle institutions that you are working with to get it to reveal aspects of your value system. The tail is your Google site story. It's the culmination of the process. It's your invention. Recap. CAT. Contrast, opposition, inversion, differentiation. A. Analogy. Figuration, displacement, theory. Repetition, literalization. Target, application and purpose. And tail, secondary elaboration, representability. In one major sense, CAT embodies all of the other poetics tools. So if you have to focus on one thing, focus on CAT. Alright, Yoda JPEG. Yoda telling it like it is. You don't try. Oh, I know which one. The meme where Yoda tells Luke, you do not try. Do or do not try. There is no do or do not. There is no try. That one. You simply do the work. As long as you are doing the work, you're fine. Doing includes failing, but doing the work again until it's right. If you find yourselves trying to do the work, then we seriously need to talk. Okay, modes of communication. Contact. I'll post videos in an announcement each week, and I will also answer your questions while we are on Discord. Oh yeah, he also has a Discord where we could communicate. See, Discord is very useful for college, for business, for everything. So don't be shy. Everyone has questions except for those suffering from the Dunning-Kruger effect. Let's hope that's not you. Anyway, once this is, you'll all shine like an amazing amazing stars that you are. Until then, prepare to be dragged through the mud a bit. Alright, the Dunning-Kruger effect. Let's search that up, see what that is. Named after psychologists David Dunning and Justin Kruger, the Dunning-Kruger effect is a type of cognitive bias that causes people to overestimate their knowledge or ability, particularly in areas with which they have little to no experience. In psychology, cognitive bias refers to unfounded beliefs we may have, often without realizing it. That shit happen is like a major thing that's happening, like constantly happening these past generations. The Dunning-Kruger effect. Alright, this is the Wikipedia version of it. Is this also the... No, this is the Healthline though. Alright, the Dunning-Kruger effect is a cognitive bias whereby people with low ability, expertise, or experience regarding a certain type of task or area of knowledge tend to overestimate their ability or knowledge. Some researchers also include in their definition the opposite effect for high performers, their tendency to underestimate their skills. Dunning-Kruger effect. I'm gonna remember that. That's gonna be a good comeback. Dunning-Kruger. Modules. If you look to your left on screen, you will see Modules is fourth in the list. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, he's right. In the side tray, in modules, you will find all of your readings, assignments, and quizzes. These modules are separated into weeks and will be revealed to you as soon as we move forward through the course. You can assess assignments and discussions as well as quizzes through modules, or you can click on them on the sidebar. My point, when it comes to orienting yourself in the class, use modules because I made modules the nucleus of the course. Alright, cool. Modules. So I did the reading. Now the quiz. I won't have to do this until next Tuesday, or I'll probably do it tomorrow. Let's see, tomorrow school, and then get ready for work. I'm doing part-time work while I go to school until like I do FedEx ground right now. I'm totally transparent. So besides being a YouTuber, Twitch streamer, and Facebook gaming streamer, and doing all the stuff that you guys probably go to my YouTube and figure out what the hell I be doing. Not only do I do that, like everyone else, I work. I'm not popular enough to be making money off of being a YouTuber and blah blah blah, whatever. Eventually I'll get there, but until then, I've had to work full time. But then I just transferred to part time because I'm going to college, and end goal, like again I told you, my end goal is to get an associate's degree while I go for 2 years in community college, get an associate's degree in computer science, and then transfer over to CSU for the remainder 2 years and get my bachelor's degree in computer engineering. And then again, look for a job so I could use that degree and get paid bigger bucks. Because all these jobs pay less than 30, less than 25 even. FedEx ground does not pay well. Not for the stuff you're doing, but it's money. Whatever. It's more than minimum wage. Let's see. Quiz module, homepage quiz. So let's do it. Let's see how much I remember. Let's see how much you guys remember. Do the quiz with me, you guys. Let's see if you get the answers right or wrong or whatever. I'm not even sure if they show you the right answers. Maybe just the wrong answers. Oh, I hope it's multiple choice, because like I won't be able to type shit in. We could cheat actually, probably just by opening the modules. Like, let's see, we open this in another link and then open this up and then go into this. Nope, it won't let us. All right, no wait, it will let us. Okay, see that? That was my shelf, my bad. Let me move this over here. So I could have this open while I do this. It'll be kind of cheating. So it will be cheating actually. I realize that the homepage is loaded with info that will make the average and not so average student grown. However, this information is important for you to work with the misstoring. While there is a quiz at the end of this section, you will find that the module for the next week covers some of the same ground as you are walking through this week. Hopefully you don't quite if you don't quite grasp the ideas and explanations offered on the home page, they will open themselves up to you in a week or two, or in week 2. All quizzes have no time limits. You have 3 attempts to each quiz. The final score will be the highest out of all your attempts. All right. How many questions? 14 questions. Okay. Good luck. Question number 1. This class is concerned with play or game, gestalt shifts, failure as a creative move, XY logic, invention, and exploration. All of the above, attuning ourselves to multiple perspectives. All of the above. Usually when they have this option, it's And especially if it has this many freaking answers, then it's all of the. Just checking to see if everything. All right, it disconnected and connected again. I don't know whether there's a timer or a maximum amount of time that I could be streaming for, and then it cuts off automatically. I have no idea, but we are back and we are taking the quiz. Again, I will be naming them in parts if they get split up on YouTube, Twitch, or any of that. But mostly on YouTube, because YouTube is actually going to keep the videos and you guys could always rewatch them whenever. Later on in the future, however, Twitch be deleting the shit after like a week or so. And I'm not sure about Facebook, if they delete them at all. But yeah. Let's see. Question number 2. Everything we invent creates its own disaster. We opened up a new paradigm, which means new problems. I think I'm going to choose that one, because things that we don't see are already connected to the things we invent. It's all cause and effect, man. All of the above. Everything we invent creates its own disaster because cause and effect. I think this is probably the answer that he wants, but this is actually funny. I kind of want to choose it because it's not entirely false, because things that we don't see are already connected. This one is kind of like randomly speaking, so I think it's just one answer. Question number 3. In the Veritasium YouTube video, Drew System 2 represents the part of us that is what? Veritasium. I didn't even watch any of the videos, so which one is he talking about? We just read, or I just read. You guys saw this. It's proof. Key insight number 2, he said. System 2 represents the part of us that what? I guess we have to watch it. David Thomas. Pure Ubu is like a cup. Drew. David. This is David. Nope, it's not that one. So it's this video. Key insight number. Okay, so I think it's this one. David Thomas. Okay. And if not, it's some other video. Are there any more videos? By association. Nope, it has to be that one. Alright, let's watch it.
That you've improved with age, or do you think that do you ever look back on your past career with pride and embarrassed about what you're doing now, or is it vice versa?
I'm as happy with Perubu in the beginning as I am now. I mean, we've done things. You do things that you think afterwards, oh, why did we do that? That's stupid. But generally, no. I mean, the point of Perubu and the point of our career was to establish a language and to be able to develop things over a period of time. And to see, just very quickly, I don't care if you don't have any time. You ask me these questions, I'm answering them. You see, you look at that. You say, that's a cup. I'll buy that cup. I recognize that cup. But this cup is also this, and it's that, and it's looking at it this way and that way, and all sorts of ways of looking at it. Now, you wouldn't buy that. You wouldn't they wouldn't advertise it like a cup like this in a store and say, buy this, because you'd say, what's that? And you'd say, oh yeah, that's a cup. I don't want to buy that. No. But that's the cup, too. All this is the cup. So you have to see it from all different angles. You know, one album we do is going to be like this. And you're saying, well, that's not I'm not going to buy that. That's not a cup. I don't know what that is. That's the cup. This is the cup. That's the cup. That's the cup. So we set out to do a career in which you would look at something like this. You would look at Perubu like this. You would look at what we're talking about like this, and you would know what a cup was. If you only know a cup this way, you don't know the cup. Thank you, and good.
Okay. The Veritasium video. Slow, lazy, very thoughtful. I don't think that was a video. I think he was talking about a different video. Is the YouTube video even here? Is it this one? Black Hearts, Red Space, Interstate 60. Key insight number 2. Perspective is a necessary component for growth and understanding. He who jumps into the void owes no explanation to those who stand and watch. So, lazy, slow, very thoughtful. Might be lazy. In order for Drew to really learn something, he needs to engage with it several times, fully understand it, although the above, believe Gunn's opinion. Who's Guns? I'm gonna go with fully understand it. According to the Veritasium video, if Gun System 1 comes across something they don't understand, they will blank. In this class, this move will happen a lot. However, the problem is that you won't see it that way for some time. System 1. I should have watched the fucking videos. Let me speed it up so I could get the info in my brain as quickly as possible.
Somewhat unpleasant. We try to avoid it where possible. For example, I asked these guys, how long does it take for the Earth to go around the sun?
What do you reckon, cuz? Is it 24 hours? Obviously a day, yes.
Or take this problem, which has been given to thousands of college students. You go into a toy store, and there's a toy bat and a toy ball. Together they cost $1.10. The bat costs $1 more than the ball. How much does the ball cost?
10 cents.
We're all wrong, aren't we?
What's the answer?
If you think about it for just a second, it's obvious that the ball can't cost 10 cents. Because if it did, then the bat would cost $1.10 and the two items together would cost $1.20. The correct answer is 5 cents. Now the point of these questions is not that they're difficult. Any of these people could have quickly checked their answer if they wanted to. The point is that they don't check. Because thinking is uncomfortable. It takes effort.
Hey, the Earth doesn't take one day to get around the sun. It takes like a year.
Now I think it would be easy to put these mistakes down to stupidity and believe that you, being much smarter, could never fall into such traps. But then I think you'd be fooling yourself. I think these examples reveal blind spots in all of our thinking due to the fundamental way that our brains work. Now one way of modeling how the brain operates is as though there are two systems at work. Psychologists call them System 1 and System 2, but maybe it's useful to think of them as characters. So let's call System 1 Gun and System 2 Drew. You are Drew. He represents your conscious thought, the voice in your head.
I am who you think you are.
He's the one capable of following instructions.
We found the correct fucking video, and I think that's Drew, right? So he's the lazy one.
He can execute a series of steps. If you're asked to calculate 13 times 17 in your head, for example, he's the one who has to do it.
Can I just use my calculator?
No.
All right, 17 times...
Drew is lazy. It takes effort to get Drew to do anything, and he is slow. But he's the careful one, capable of catching and fixing mistakes.
221.
Now meet System 1, Gun. He is incredibly quick, which he needs to be since he's constantly processing copious amounts of information coming in through your senses. He picks out the relevant bits and discards the rest, which is most of it. And he works automatically, without you, Drew, being consciously aware of what he is doing. For example, when you spot some text, he reads it before you can even decide whether or not you want to read it. Gun fills...
Alright, I think I might have enough info. Let's see. Fully understand it. Okay. According to the video comes across something they don't understand, they will wait for Drew's system Tell them, pass it over to Drew, all of the above. Argue with Drew, go back and rethink the understanding. If Gun from System 1 comes across something they don't understand, they will go back and rethink the understanding. Wait for Drew to tell them that they are wrong. Pass it over to Drew. In System 2. Nope, this one. Finally, in the video, it tells us that if we really wanted to be thoughtful people, we must learn to be misunderstood, uncomfortable. We must learn to be uncomfortable, superior, rebels, trendsetters. I think it's uncomfortable because he's talking about how it's uncomfortable to think. We have to learn to be uncomfortable.
In the gaps. For example, what does this say? Did you notice that the H in the and the A in cat are actually the same symbol? But you had no trouble reading it because Gun made the correct automatic assumption. So although Drew is unaware of what Gun is doing, it's Gun's perceptions that become the basis for your conscious thoughts. The way I like to think of it, each of these characters is related to one of your main memory structures. Gun's automatic responses are made possible by long-term memory, the library of experiences you've built up over your lifetime. In contrast, Drew exists entirely within working memory, so he's only capable of holding 4 or 5 novel things in mind at a time. This is perhaps one of the best known findings from psychology, that our capacity to hold and manipulate novel information is incredibly limited, like when trying to remember a string of random numbers.
6, 7, 5, 5, 3, 1.
Yes. But we are able to overcome these limitations if the information is familiar to us. For example, let me give you 4 random digits, 7, 1, 0, 2. Now these would normally take up most of your working memory capacity just to remember, but if you reverse them, 2017, they are now just one thing, the present year. The process of grouping things together according to your prior knowledge is called chunking, and you can actually hold 4 or 5 chunks in working memory at once. So the larger the chunks, the more information you can actively manipulate at one time. Learning is then the process of building more and bigger chunks by storing and further connecting information in long-term memory, essentially passing off tasks from Drew to Gun. But in order for this to happen, Drew first has to engage with the information actively and effortfully, often multiple times. For example, when you were first learning to tie your shoelaces, you probably recited a rhyme to help you remember what to do next, using up all your working memory in the process. But after doing it over and over and over again, it gradually became automatic. That is, Drew doesn't have to think about it anymore because Gun's got it. Musicians and sports stars refer to this as muscle memory, though of course the memory is not in the muscles, it's still in the brain, just controlled by Gun.
You can practice everything exactly as it is and exactly as it's written, but at just such a speed that you have to think about and know exactly where you are and what your fingers are doing and what it feels like.
Slow, deliberate, conscious practice repeated often enough leads to this. I bet 99% of the time, what appears to be superhuman ability comes down to the incredible automation skills of Gun, developed through the painstaking, deliberate practice of Drew. What's interesting is it's actually possible to see how hard Drew is working just by looking at someone. Try this task. I'm going to show you 4 digits. I want you to read them out loud, and then after 2 beats, I want you to say each number back on the beat, but adding 1 to each digit. So as an example, 7291 should be 8302. This is called the add 1 task, and it forces Drew to hold these digits in memory while making manipulations to them. Now it's important to say the numbers back on the beat. Try this one.
It said what? Try
to make it harder, you can try adding.
What was it?
Say the numbers back on the beat. Try this one.
Say the numbers back.
0, 2. Is it's actually possible to see how hard Drew is working just by looking at someone. Try this task. I'm going to show you 4 digits. I want you to read them out loud, and then after 2 beats, I want you to say each number back on the beat, but adding 1 to each digit. So as an example, 7291 should be 8302. This is called the add 1 task, and it forces Drew to hold these digits in memory while making manipulations to them. Now it's important to say the numbers back on the beat. Try this one. To make it harder, you can try adding 3 instead of 1. Ready? Now what you're unaware of is that as you're completing this task, your pupils are dilating. When Drew is hard at work, as he is in this task, you have a physiological response, including increased heart rate, sweat production, and pupil dilation. Watch how the pupils of these participants enlarge as they perform the add 1 and add 3 tasks.
4, 3, 9, 7, 2. 5, 4, 0, 8, 3.
Excellent. Nicely done.
Requires a lot of thinking.
I know. That's the point.
6, 9, 1, 6. 7, 0, 2, 7.
When this research was originally carried out, the researchers made a surprising observation. When the participants were not engaged with the task but were just chatting with the experimenters, their pupils didn't really dilate at all. This indicates that the add 1 and add 3 tasks are particularly strenuous for System 2, and that most of our day-to-day life is a stroll for Drew, with most tasks handled automatically by Gun. Just as we spend a lot of our lives lounging around, our brains spend most of their time doing the mental equivalent. And I don't mean to make that sound like a bad thing. This is how our brains evolved to make the best use of resources. For repetitive tasks, we developed automatic ways of doing things, reserving Drew's limited capacity for things that really need our attention. But in some circumstances, there can be mix-ups. For example, I moved to Australia in 2004, and one of the first things I learned was that to turn the lights on, you flick the switch down. My whole life growing up in Canada, Gun had automated that up means on. So no matter how well I, Drew, knew that down was on in Australia, I would for years continually switch the lights off when entering a room and on when leaving. When Destin learned to ride the backwards bicycle with its steering reversed, it took months to overcome his automated habit. And once he had done that, he couldn't easily go back to riding a normal bike. Understanding Gun and Drew also explains errors in the bat and ball question. It's Gun who first perceives the key pieces of information, that together the bat and ball cost $1.10, the bat costs $1 more than the ball, so the ball costs 10 cents.
10 cents.
Gun immediately had an answer that he blurted out automatically. Meanwhile, Drew, without being consciously aware that the answer came from Gun, endorsed the idea without checking it. After all, the answer sounded reasonable and Drew is lazy. So how do you get Drew to do more work? Well, researchers have found at least one way. When they gave out a clearly printed test, including the bat and ball question to incoming college students, 85% got at least one wrong. But when they printed the test in a hard-to-read font with poor contrast, the error rate dropped to 35%. A harder-to-read test resulted in more correct answers. And the explanation for this is simple. Since Gun can't quickly jump to an answer, he hands off the task to Drew, who then invests the required mental effort to reason his way to the correct answer. When something is confusing, Drew works harder. And when Drew works harder, you're more likely to reach the right answer and remember the experience. This is something I think the advertising industry knows about and is using to its advantage. A few years ago, again in Australia, I saw a giant billboard that had just 2 letters on it, UN. There was no logo, no indication of what it was for, and this seems to go against all the basic principles of advertising, to show what the product does, how it's better than the competition, and use clear branding and maybe a jingle to make it memorable. The goal is usually to make the message as easy to understand as possible, so Drew doesn't have to work very hard. But if you look at a lot of effective advertising today, it's changed to be more confusing. As the UN campaign rolled out across Sydney, I saw ads like this one in bus shelters. Unexplained. With UN, there is no stress, just unstress. No hassle, just unhassle. With UN, you can undo what you did. You can undrive through the car wash with the window down, or unbreakdance in front of your teenage son and his mates. UN makes life relaxing and unreal. Un your life. Be happy and live for now. Don't worry, unworry. Can you guess what the ads were for? They're actually for insurance. Now that advertising is everywhere, Gun is skilled at filtering it out. It's automatic. If I just saw another insurance ad, I never would have given it a second thought. But something that doesn't make sense, that's something Gun can't deal with, so he hands it off to Drew. This same realization has been happening in education. Lectures, which have long been the dominant teaching method, are now on the decline. Like the old form of advertising, they're too easy to tune out. And often, especially in science lectures, too many new pieces of information are presented, and that exceeds Drew's capacity because he doesn't have big enough chunks to break the material into. In place of lectures, universities are introducing workshops, peer instruction, and formats where students are forced to answer more questions, do more work than just listen and take notes. And this will undoubtedly make Drew work harder, which is good because that's how learning happens. But a lot of students don't like it because it requires more effort. Just as it's hard to motivate someone to get off the couch and exercise, it's hard to get Drew to give his full effort. There's an appeal to doing things you already know. For the musician to play the same familiar songs that Gun has already automated that feel and sound good. To watch videos that give you the sensation of understanding without actually learning anything. To always drive with the GPS on so you never get lost, but you also never learn the way. If you really want to learn and get better at anything, have any chance of becoming an expert, you have to be willing to be uncomfortable. Because thinking takes effort. It involves fighting through confusion, and for most of us, that's at least somewhat unpleasant.
Okay. Now that we finally watched it, or whatever, I watched it, we watched it. Finally, it tells you thoughtful. We must learn to be uncomfortable, misunderstood, all of superior rebels. Correct. And David Thomas, the leader of the punk band. Oh wait, we did see that. He compares the multiplicity of perspectives to a cup. Yep. According to Thomas, we can deduce that he thinks that if you don't have many possibly contradictory perspectives about one thing, then David Thomas, then you don't know the thing. You're like weak sauce, bro. It can't be that one, but it's funny. Big business will love you. Nothing mentioned in that video like that. You will have a nice, comfortable life. Nope, this one. In the Interstate 60 clip, the deck of cards contains 2 new... I didn't watch the fucking video. But knowing the question and then watching the video is kind of cheating, but fucking... I didn't watch the video. I have to watch the video. All because I'm streaming. I didn't watch the video because of time. So which one is it? Which video was it? Interstate 60. Oops. Interstate 60. Let's... Nope. Which one was the Interstate 60? That one's Schema. Wow. Gestalt switch, the pandemic by association. Fuck, I saw it somewhere. Big Lebowski. I saw it somewhere. Was it this one? No, this one's Hyper Reality. Okay. The meme one. Ah, it is this one. Stupid. Makes you think. 2 new suits. Interstate 60, Christopher Lloyd. Oh, that's his name. Lloyd. The man playing the doctor tells the patient that children have no problem seeing the additional suits in the cards. This is probably because they do not stuck seeing the world through a particular paradigm. In the failure video, the narrator tells us that failure brings experience, self-honesty, despair, embarrassment, improvement, all of the above. In this video, Cognitive Bias, the narrator, Derek Muller, says he created this particular video in response to Nassim Taleb's book. Cognitive Bias. Which one is that one? Another one I didn't watch. Fuck. Muller.
I'm going to give you guys 3 numbers, a 3-number sequence, and I have a rule in mind that these 3 numbers obey. And I want you to try to figure out what that rule is. But the way that you can...
It says, Cognitive Bias, the narrator, Derek Muller, says he created this... what was Nassim Taleb's? Whatever.
Get information is by proposing your own set of 3 numbers, to which I will say yes, that follows my rule, or no, it doesn't follow my rule, and then you can propose what you think the rule is. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So here are the 3 numbers: 2, 4, 8.
2, 4, 8.
You don't need to continue the sequence. You can propose a totally different sequence, whatever you want to propose, and I will simply say yes or no. That follows my rule.
2, 4, 8. 16, 32.
16, 32, and
64.
Those also follow my rule.
Okay.
What's the rule? What do you think?
Multiply by 2.
That is not my rule.
What?
That's not my rule. But you're allowed, if you want, propose 3 other numbers.
3, 6, 12.
3, 6, 12.
3, 6, 12 follows my rule.
10, 20, 40.
10, 20, 40.
That follows the rule.
Yeah, I'm still multiplying by 2.
I know. I know what you're doing. And yes, it follows my rule, but no, it's not my rule.
5, 10.
10 and 20.
Follows my rule.
100. 200. 400.
Follows my rule.
500, 1,000, 2,000.
Follows my rule.
Want me to keep going?
But do I just keep going? You're going to tell me your rule?
Am I doing it the wrong way? Am I approaching this the wrong way?
You're totally fine,
Okay.
but you're approaching it the way most people approach it. Like, think strategically about this. You want information.
Yeah.
I have information. The point of the 3 numbers, right, is to allow you to figure out what the rule is.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to give you the numbers that I don't think fits the sequence and then see what you say. So I'll say 2, 4, 7.
Fits my rule.
So whatever I propose is right?
So is your rule like you can propose any number? So the rule is anything we say is yes.
No.
Damn it.
But you are on the right track now. Hit me with 3 numbers.
3, 6, 9.
Follows
Hit
my
me
rule.
with 3 numbers is his rule, I bet.
Oh, that didn't follow my rule.
This is good, right?
5, 10, 15.
That follows my rule.
What? Oh. Really?
Yeah.
I don't believe this.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Follows the rule.
What about 7, 8, 9?
Yep.
Follows. Yes, that follows the rule.
8, 16, 39.
Fits the rule.
Excellent.
But we were no closer to the rule. I want you to get to the rule.
How about 1, 7, 13?
Follows the rule.
What?
11, 12, 13.
How does this
Follows
make
the rule.
sense?
10,
I don't know
9,
how to
8.
do this.
Does not follow the rule.
10, 9, 8 does not.
Oh, so is it all in ascending order?
Booyah.
Okay.
Up top. Yes, first
Oh,
ones to get it.
okay.
You guys nailed it. That's the rule. That's the rule.
All in
Numbers in
ascending.
increasing order.
Aw.
Numbers in ascending order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 15, 25. Doesn't matter. Any numbers in ascending order. I was
Okay.
inspired to make this video by the book The Black Swan by Nassim Taleb.
Black Swan.
Now, the black swan is a metaphor for the unknown and the unexpected.
Okay. I did not know where he was going at, but that is true. All right. In the conclusion of, okay, Mueller, Tasing video, Mueller says that it is more important to get to beyond failure. Real answers are success rate than no, because it provides more info and helps us to get something really true about our reality.
I mean, in the old world, the theory was that all swans were white. So each instance of a white swan would make you think, yeah, that theory's pretty good. But the point is, you can never prove a theory true. And in fact, when people found Australia, they realized that there were black swans. What was interesting for me was that everyone I spoke to came up with a rule very early on and then only proposed numbers that fit with that rule they were thinking. I was looking for you guys to propose a set of numbers that didn't follow your rule and didn't follow my rule. I was looking for you guys not to try to confirm what you believe. You're always asking something where you expect the answer to be yes, right? Like you're trying to get at it.
Yeah.
But instead you want to get the no.
You want to get the no because that's much more informational for you than the yes. Like if everything's
No, that
being
is
a yes.
true. That is really true.
Okay, then no. On the final video featuring Dr. Carol Dweck, she is suggesting that there are two kinds of mindsets: the fixed mindset and the unfixed, whatever. Carol Dweck. Okay, so I have to watch. Jesus.
I'm really excited to have such a full room. And I know we have a lot of people on the live stream and a lot more people still who can't make either and are looking forward to seeing this up on YouTube, which will be the case in the next few days. I'm really excited to introduce
3 years of work.
What role
Build those. Add this in.
Said, let's see. He said there was a freaking portion that we could skip to basically, let's see, understand this. The thing down below, he said. I remember there was a portion in this thing. So I'm basically just skimming this shit and looking for numbers. I remember it had like 5 minutes or some shit. And it had the word skim, so I'm looking for like a timestamp and then skim. Maybe it didn't. No, I remember it was somewhere up there. No, again, only in this video for a minute too. Left brain, right brain. Logic and metaphor. I don't think it's Dr. Carol Dweck. She is suggesting that there are two kinds of mindsets: fixed mindset and blank mindset. Abduction, induction, deduction. This is not her, so yeah, it has to be this video.
inevitable
That was a
rise to great
waste of
success.
time.
I teach a freshman seminar at Stanford every year, and I have my students do an assignment where they do research on their hero. And almost invariably, they think that hero just catapulted to success because of this amazing inborn talent. But every single time they find that the hero put in inordinate amounts of work, met with obstacles, and really powered through them. So I don't rule out the fact that some people are born with passions and talents and build those, but many people who never achieve anything are also born with talents and passions that they don't see through. And what's there, what we come with, that's the raw material that you've got to develop. Michael Jordan, it turns out, wasn't particularly talented until he went at it so ferociously, more ferociously than anyone else.
So you talked about over lunch, we had an interesting discussion with part of the team here about growth mindset, fixed mindset. It's a great simplified way to think of it. Yeah, people can have both, and it's more of a spectrum. Talk a little bit more about how you can have both mindsets at the same time.
We're all a mixture. It's true that you can have a fixed mindset in one area and a growth mindset in another area.
All right, growth mindset. There we go. All right, 8 out of 14. Time, 34 minutes. Current, 8 out of 14. Kept score, 8 out of 14. 2 more attempts available. So it says correct answers are hidden. Quiz results are protected for this quiz and are not visible to students until they have submitted their last attempt. Quiz results are protected for this quiz and are not visible to students until they have submitted. I have 2 more attempts left. So 8 out of 14. So that means I got 4. I got half of them right. About half. A little bit more than half. Shit. Okay. Quick results are protected for this quiz, and okay, take the quiz again. The class is concerned with, so I probably got this answer wrong. Failure as creative move. So I put, I think, all of the above. Just thought shifts, XY logic, invention, exploration, attuning ourselves to multiple perspectives, play or game. Failure as a creative move. So it's either Gestalt shifts or XY logic. We'll go with that one. Let's see. Everything we invent creates its own disaster because I think I got this one wrong, and it's all of the above. Lazy, very thoughtful, and slow. All of the above. Go with all of the above. Order for Drew to really learn something, he needs to fully understand it, engage with his believe in Gunn's opinion. All of the above. According to the Versatarian video, the gun system one comes across something they don't understand. They will argue, pass it over. Okay, all of the above. I don't think I answered that one right. Finally, the Versatarian video. Veritasium video tells us that we really want to be thoughtful people. We must learn to be rebels, superior, trendsetters, uncomfortable, misunderstood, all of the above. And David Thomas, the leader punk band, he compared everything to a cup. According to Thomas, we can deduce that he thinks that if you don't have many possible contradictory perspectives about one thing, then you don't know what the thing is. Interstate 60, the deck of cards had 2 new suits. Extra queens, extra... Okay. Interstate 60, Christopher Lloyd, the man playing the doctor, tells the patient that children have no problem seeing additional suits. In... You know the problem about these 2 questions being next to each other? It says... Interstate 60. So Interstate 60. So you can match these two questions. Have to do it. They have to do with the same thing. And then it says, tells the patient that blank have no problem seeing the additional suits. And then right here, two new suits. I'm just saying. Sometimes you could figure out the question, the question you had before by seeing the next question, or reading further into the next questions. And always go back to change your answers if you can. In the failure video, the narrator tells that failure brings all of the above. In the Black Swan. In the conclusion, learn to get the no. The final video featuring Dr. Carol Dweck, she is suggesting that two kinds of mycetes growth. Alright, let's see. What? 4 minutes. Current score 8 out of 14. 8 out of 14. Oh no, that was the last attempt. What was this attempt? The score for this attempt is 8 out of 14. Wow. Okay. So it wasn't all of the above for okay. Damn. I feel dumb. So I went with Gasol shifts and all of the above. So this one has to be either this one, or play or game. So I don't think it's this one. Invention or exploration. I'm guessing XY logic. That one or that one is. These two are kind of close. Alright, everything we invent creates its own disaster because. So I chose because we opened up a new paradigm, which means new problems. So I picked these two before. Cause and effect, man. If this is the answer, it's gonna be hilarious. It's all cause and effect. I'm gonna go with this one. In the video, slow, lazy, very thoughtful. So Drew is the lazy one. In order for Drew to really learn something, he needs to believe Gunn's opinion, fully understand it. So engage with it several times. I'm guessing it's this one. So I put all of the above for this one and fully understand it. But it's talking about Drew, not Gunn. So I read that wrong. I think it's engaged with it several times. According to the video, Gun system comes across something they don't understand. I think I put all of the above on this one too, right? Gun comes across something they don't understand. They will blank. And there's a class they move. This move will happen a lot. However, the problem is that you won't see it that way for some time. This is like a hint, isn't it? This move will happen a lot. However, the problem is that you won't see that way for some time. Go back and rethink understanding. I think I chose this last time, and then I chose all of the above this time. Or I chose this time twice. This thing twice. Something they both don't know. Argue. Okay, all of the above. This, I put this one twice. That's why. Okay, question 5 should hopefully be correct this time. Finally, if we really want to be thoughtful people, we must learn to be misunderstood, all above, superior, trend settings for above, uncomfortable. So I chose uncomfortable and then all of the above. So it's either misunderstood, trendsetters, and rebels. We need to learn to be rebels? I don't know. In David Thomas, the leader of the punk band, he compares it to a cup. This is like when we watch the videos, basically. So, you don't really know the thing. Interstate 60, two no suits. Children. In the filler video, tells us that filler brings all of the above: despair, improvement, experience, self-honesty, embarrassment. In the okay, Black Swan, the no, and growth. Let's see how I did this time. Current score 7 out of 14. Kept score 8 out of 14. Wow. So what the fuck? How is it that in the first two I got 8 out of 14? I kept the same answers on like the second half. -1, I think. And then the other ones I tried all the above. Didn't change any of the answers. And then Alright. Incorrect. Score for this attempt 7 out of 14. Correct answer. Incorrect. Okay. Attempt 1. Alright, so question number 1. This class is concerned with all of the above. Alright, so that's the one that I got wrong this time. Okay. Question 2 I got incorrect. Question 3, question 4, question 5. Question 2, everything we invent creates its own disaster because we opened the paradigm. So it was this one? It was actually this one. It's all cause and effect. I mean, this seems right, but just because he added that, it made it seem like the wrong answer. Okay. So I got 6, 7, 8. You don't know the thing. How did I get this one wrong? You're like weak sauce, big business. You will have a nice, comfortable. This one, I don't think it's testing it right. According to Thomas, we can deduce that he thinks that if you don't have many possibly contradictory perspectives about one thing, then you don't know the thing. And then I bet you I got it right on a different test. What question is that one? Question 9? Question 9 was wrong. The two new suits, the Interstate Eclipse, the deck of cards contains 2 new extra queens, crazy jacks, numbers to infinity. I picked this one. It should have been... there's something wrong with the quiz. With the tests. The testing. Because there's no fucking way this was wrong. Let me go to a different test. Incorrect? Was it Crazy Jacks? 2 new Crazy Jacks? No, I had... Wow, it had like 2 different suits, man. Like, they changed the color of the suits. And then this one, I also got it wrong. So what the fuck was the answer? Alright. I got half of them right and half of them wrong. That's weird as fuck. Anyways, whatever. Let's go home. I did what I was supposed to do from the modules. So I took the quiz, reading. Okay, and then I need to go home, and the last thing that I have to do, because I got school tomorrow, and this is my first class tomorrow, I need to create a Google site. 31 minutes. Okay.
Google Sites. So Google Sites is available in your Google account, and it's for free. You can create a website. So I'm going to go through from scratch, starting a new website and showing you all the different things you can do to it by creating multiple pages, adding videos, and making sure you know how to share it to other people when you're working with it, and then publishing it to the world or to a select group of people. So today on Teachers Tech, let's get started with Google Sites. So before we get started here today, I just want to mention down below in the description, I'll timestamp everything, which means all you have to do is click.
All right. How to use Google Sites tutorial for beginners by Teachers Tech. All right. Teachers Tech. So you Google or go to YouTube and search for that if you guys want to learn how to create a Google site. Google Sites. And then that's all I have for this video, you guys. Let's see. Yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Thanks for watching it this far, and you guys know what to do. Subscribe, follow all my channels, go buy some merch. Merch link is also in the about section. Order custom merch directly from me. You get better prices, and you guys get to have anything you want design wise, and for like any graphic design in front, or words or phrases, whatever you guys want. I'm doing different colors and sizes. They're all unisex. They're all unisex. So if you guys want tank tops, shirts, sweaters, or hoodies, okay, so sweaters are without a hood, same shit, but they keep you warm. Mugs, plates, hats or caps, bags, whatever you guys want. Just let me know what you guys are wanting and what kind of design that you guys want on it. I can make it happen, and contact me either through Instagram, Discord. Go to the about section for the link to my Discord. You could join my Discord community, Instagram, and my email address. Other than that, you guys, thanks for watching. Till next time.